Alright, so this is actually happening. I'm having my first sit-down video, and the first video will be thought-provoking and intense. Let's do this. Let me start with the fact that we are all spiritual beings, and we've been sold a lie that we are like everyone else and just common beings. Guys, no. Actually, no. Hey guys, and welcome to... Oh my god. Let me fix my shirt for you, huh? So, hey guys, and welcome to my YouTube channel. I'm Marta, or Martina, but call me Marta. And yes, I started this YouTube channel just recently, and until now have only published weekly vlogs because I was kind of frightened to do sit-down videos, because I knew the type of videos I wanted to be talking about are kind of, yeah, intense and not just your average videos, because I will do real talk videos, I will talk about spirituality, I will talk about, you know, life in general, psychology, emotions, and all of these intense topics. And for me to sit down and actually talk to the camera and just talk about it, yeah, it frightened me. Thank God I just got used to talking in the camera due to my vlogs, and now I just feel like, okay, now's the perfect time to do it, because I don't feel prepared. I actually haven't really prepared. I just wrote some few bullet points down, or like bullet sentences. I challenged myself to just write a few things down that I can just get in the flow, because I don't want to script everything out and just read, you know? So I don't know how this video is going to turn out. Sure, it has to be informative and good, you know? Always the best quality for you guys. So let us start with the video. Oh, I chose the topic system, and why we've been lied to, how we've been lied to, and that we just basically live in a system, just invisible. We don't quite see it, but we all participate in it, and the most of us are pretty unhappy with it. People are just like so focused on this one path, and if you don't follow the path like a sheep, I would say, you'll get backfired, you know? People will be like, you're not studying, why? Oh, so you don't want to like get a job or get a 9-to-5, why? What do you want to do instead? Just live from love and air, how the Germans would say, like from Luft und Liebe, like, oh my god, I hate that sentence. From the very beginning on, you just were brought into school without questioning the whole school program. Like, you just went there, you learned how to write, how to read, which is perfect and which everyone should have access to, like in the whole world and not just in a few parts in the world. But then after like learning the basic things, which is like pretty important, you're getting taught different things that kind of condition your mind without even realizing it. And you know, they call it, how's it called? Oh my god, okay, I guess I'll have to translate in between because I only have the German word for it. Alright, so they call it general knowledge. You've been brought to school, and after a certain time, I'd say like until the end of middle school, you've been taught general knowledge. You know, history, world history. You just get this one perspective on everything that has happened so far. And sometimes, you know, at school, I was like the average student, to say so. I always participated in the system, I didn't really question it. Until recently, to be very honest, I always followed the rules. I was always like that. I didn't want to like step out, I didn't want to be the person that just falls out of the gist and does something where people are like talking behind my back. I always wanted to like prevent that, because I'm also a people pleaser. So like this combination alone just really like kind of forced me to be in the system, even though I wasn't happy with it. And that's the thing, you know, you just realize, okay, you kind of feel off following all these things, but at the same time you don't want to like piss people off. You don't want people to like think less of you, which you aren't. And the fact that you just have to fear that people will think less of you because you don't follow a certain path, that alone, that's crazy. Like, honestly, that's crazy. So the thing is, what we've also been taught in school are limiting beliefs. Especially, you know, it begins with favoring a few students than others. The ones with the better grades are being more favored and are being more like offered better things than the average or the bad students. Like, that alone, bad students. Why are you bad? Only because you aren't like getting the better grades in this one subject. And also like how unindividual school systems generally are. Like, not everyone is as good in like math and science as being creative and being artsy. Yeah, it's just not in balance at all. And the fact that you are then being named a bad student, think about how a little child will feel when he's labeled being bad. Then he will just question everything about himself or herself only because he's been told that lie, only because he's been told that limiting belief, that he isn't enough, that he always has to be better and has to like force himself to like something he doesn't. And all that just brought up in school, where we just like learned all these limiting beliefs, that we aren't enough, that we always have to fight for something, that we always like have to, you know, like pull out our elbows and only like think about ourselves, to be selfish, to only think about your needs and who's the first will get the best and whatever. Like, all that is in your head, and that's how you've been raised. Because you've also been raised at school. Of course your parents raised you, if you as fortunate to have parents that have raised you. And those are like the values and the morals you've been conditioned to believe and think and follow. Generally, to like come back to the opening sentence of me, that we're actually spiritual beings, but yeah, actually have been lied to think that we are common beings. Oh my goodness, guys. I have believed that lie so much, that I am just average. As I said, I was an average student, so I always thought that I'm average at everything. Points when I felt like, okay, I'm really good at something, I felt unworthy of actually accepting it and being proud of me being good at something, because I'm like, oh, that's unusual. Like, actually I'm not that good. Like, at school I'm always the average student, and I actually have to struggle until I get a average grade. And this is weird, this feels off. I don't know if I really want to do it, if it's like the thing for me. I better just dodge it. Yeah, self-destructive, that's how I call it. And I really suffered under self-destructive behavior for a really long time, until I really sat down and just worked on my personality, where I just, you know, did all the inner work that is required to actually come to the point where you realize, the heck, I am not this person people labeled me as in school. I'm not the person society tells me that I am. I'm not only lucky to have it because I'm worthy to have it, because I'm a spiritual being, and abundant. Let me tell you what abundance actually means. Abundance means that everything you actually want and desire, which is really in your heart and not what you just see on TV, on commercial breaks or whatever, you will actually get them, because, you know, the world actually is abundant. Everything around us is energy. So energy always exists and always has existed. Energy can never leave us, and energy can always like form and transform into something. So if you basically think about something, you know, your thoughts are also energy, because it's all connected. And when you think about a certain thing, for example, you really want to go on this one trip to Mexico, for example, and you're always thinking about Mexico, like, oh, Mexico, and you imagine yourself, like, even though you're at work, you're just looking out of the window and dreaming about Mexico. You're constantly on this vibration of positive feelings about Mexico. So when all of a sudden something happens that can lead you to go to Mexico, you'll be like, the heck, how did that happen? Well, obviously because you're a spiritual being and you attracted it. And you didn't know it because, as I said, we've been all lied to that we are common beings instead of spiritual beings. So we can have it all, guys. We can have it all. And that was a actual shift in my thinking, like a big shift. What do you mean I can have it? Aren't things like limited? I mean, aren't things, for example, when you see the developing countries and the Western countries, like there is limitation. They don't have as much resources as we have. That's also a lie because, you know, partly because some of the resources that they have been taken from them to be like in our western part of the world. But also, at the end of the day, the resources are always there and they will always be there. But they also have been fed the lie that that there isn't enough. And we walk around the world thinking that everything is in lack. Like not even materialistic things, also like societal things or relationships. Like you want this one person to be your partner and you're like, oh my god, there's only this one person who will ever treat me like this and who will ever make me feel like this and whatever. You're also limiting yourself to believe that you can only deserve one thing, which isn't the case. So you know where I'm like getting. It's all started with the lies we've been brought up since we were little, to think that we're less, to believe that everything is in limits, which it clearly isn't. And yeah, you know, to talk about spiritual beings again, I really felt uncomfortable actually saying spiritual beings because, you know, when you say that, people just assume that you're a weirdo. Like, even if you, let's say, if you believe in God or not, if you believe in the universe or not, if you believe in science or not, to like be this whole thing that just explains life, to say so, and the meaning of life, all that at the end of the day, you know, comes back to the question, okay, you know that the way you've been born, how we've been actually this little thing, like even smaller, in the like womb of our mothers, and we just flourished into big human beings. That alone is a miracle. So everything around us is actually a miracle. That alone is actually spiritual. It's like over the top. It's not normal. And everything that is just uncommon, everything that is not normal, everything that is not average is actually more than that. So it's spiritual. It's just, I don't know if you know where I'm getting. Bear with my language barrier for a bit. Even God or not, like even if you're religious, some actually teach us in religion that you are more than just your body. Like, I agree with that and I'm on that side, definitely. But some religion also say that you're less than everything. Like God the Almighty, which is the case, is way bigger than you, obviously, but you can't like ever reach the level 2 God, because there's this high barrier you can never reach because you're a human being. Again, lie, you're not. Your consciousness, your energy, your everything. So to come back to the point that everything that is like over the top is actually a miracle, for example, our births, that just means that we are actually not normal beings. And the way we just developed over the years into adulthood also is a miracle, because I just find it very beautiful to see how people develop in different ways. You know, you can't also say that people are destined to like follow the same path for life and to be the same from beginning to the end, because everything is a process, everything is a way, everything just manages itself and just follows an actual plan. So I believe in God's plan. I believe that there is a plan that God has made for each and every one of us. Not only for the selected ones in religion, but each and every one of us. Also, the lie that some religion say is that, you know, only a few people are worthy enough to be in God's presence. No. Why do you again group people into something? Getting back to the school thing, why do you have to group people into being good, average, and bad? Why do you have to group people into being worthy of something and unworthy of something, worthy of God's presence and unworthy of God's presence, worthy of having a good life and not worthy of having a good life? Why is there a grouping? It doesn't make sense. Who did actually invent these groupings? It has to be like human beings, because God loves every one of us. God loves each and every one of us, and he would never come to the idea to make exceptions for one person, like, okay, I love everyone in this world except for you. Sorry, but it's not your time now. You have to wait in line. Get in the back. Go. Obviously, no. that's another lie. So, you know what I'm getting? Everything that kind of just managed to come into our heads and form these limiting beliefs are just lies. Limiting beliefs are lies, and we just have to work on figuring out what our limiting beliefs are, to like first identify them, then work on them. And also, it's a process. You can't just like delete all your limiting beliefs, all your conditions from childhood until now in a few days. Process. It's literally a life journey. I still have my limiting beliefs I have to work on until now, but I'm making progress because I set the intention to work on myself daily, to work on myself every time, because I deserve it, because I'm worthy of taking care of myself, and I'm worthy of actually becoming my best version, which is also like my mission statement for social media. If you don't know, I actually started this whole spirit martyr journey and all this talking about real stuff on Instagram because I love writing, and I also like wrote my heart out about certain topics, for example also these topics, on Instagram, and like formed a beautiful community of people, of like-minded people that share my opinion and that always participate, get a different perspective on life. And just my mission statement in general is to just help people become their best version, because we deserve it, because we are all worth it, and no one should actually live life thinking that he's unworthy of the things that he actually desires deep in his heart, and all that, just, you know. That's it, guys. I hope you enjoyed this video. I hope it really provoked your thoughts and actually helped you see things from a different perspective. No matter what this video actually, like, emotions it brought up, be aware of it and actually, you know, question why you felt this way and think about it, sit with this feeling, and actually spend time on yourself and think about especially these topics, because it's about yourself, you know. You shouldn't be living life focusing on getting money, getting all the things that society tells us to have to be worthy. You already are worthy. You just have to realize it and accept it and work on it to believe it and crush those limiting beliefs. Let me help you beat those limiting beliefs and all that has been brought up to us from very early on by subscribing to my channel and joining the family, joining the community, and help me grow to get this message, or these messages I'm putting out, to reach the masses, and just, you know, let's form a great community of people and support each other on our life journey, because that's what it's about, you know. It's all about community and becoming our best versions. So I hug you guys, I love you, and I'm really happy that I finally did this. I really wanted to get this off of my chest, and I went in a flow, so I'm happy. And yes, until next time then, bye.